Hello everyone. Hope everybody is doing real good. So I am Swathi from CodeKaroYaaro International Kids Coding School. So in today's video what we are going to do is we are going to learn about a platform called as Thunkable, and we are going to create a small project in Thunkable. Okay. So without making any delay, let's go to the project. So Thunkable is an online platform, and also you can download the application and install it, and this application is used for creating mini apps, and also it is used for creating games. Okay, so now in today's video what we are going to do is we are going to use Thunkable app. Okay, and we are going to create a small a website in Thunkable. Okay, so without any delay, let's go and see it how to do it. First you have to go to Thunkable. So once you go to Thunkable, you have to log in, okay, using your, first of all you have to sign up using your email address. Once you have signed up, you can automatically log in from the second time. So I have already logged in into my Thunkable application, so I don't need to enter my email address or continue with Google and all the other things. So once you have logged in Thunkable, this is how it looks like. Okay, now when you have to create a new application, create new app, and then you have to put the name of the project. So as we are gonna do a very basic application in Thunkable, so I'm just gonna name it as Hello World. So now once you have given the name of the project, you have to select the category, the project which you are doing falls under what category. And now in this category you can select 1 or 2 or 3 until 5. Okay, so the maximum is 5. Okay, the minimum is 1. So I'm gonna select education and entertainment, and I don't see any other thing. Oh, we can also add photos and videos, so I'm gonna click on photo and video. Okay, and after selecting the categories, you have to click on create. So once you click on create, it's gonna take 2 to 3 seconds, and it will go to the new platform, new project in Thunkable. So this is how Thunkable looks like without adding any components or without adding any code or anything. Okay, now what are the things we have in Thunkable? Let me just explain you. So the very first thing in Thunkable we have is screen. The screen is the most important part. This is the screen which is going to present you in your output. Okay, so whatever the designing, whatever the background colors, whatever the images, the decorations and everything, whatever you are doing on the screen will be visible in your output. Okay, now the second most important thing, how to add the components on the screen. Okay, let's just take an example. We have add component section on the left hand side. Okay, so in the left hand side we have basic, data, input, media, embed and everything. Okay, so we have to choose the component whichever required for doing that particular application or any game. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to add a button or a label or an image, anything, I have to click on the component, drag it and drop it on the screen. So once you have dropped it on the screen, it will just look like this. But can I be able to change the position of the component? Yes, you can. So just click on it and drag and drop it wherever you need it. And also you can increase the size, decrease the size, make it into any shape you like. Okay, based on the application which you are creating. Okay, I can make it big, I can make it small and everything. Okay, so let me make it this size and let me make it in the middle. Now once you have added the components, you can see the components whatever you have added on the screen in the component tree. Let us take an example. I have added a label and also an image on the screen 1. Now if you can see over here in the component tree, screen 1 contains image 1, label 1 and button 1. Okay, so it will be showing you what are all the components you have added on the screen. Okay, now I can even change, for example, click on the plus icon and you can create a new screen. Again you click on the plus icon, you can create a new screen. So let me go to screen 2 and let me add some buttons over there. Okay, so once I have added the buttons and everything, it's gonna show me in the component tree. If you can see, in screen 1 I have image 1, label 1 and button 1. In screen 2 I have button 3 and button 2. Okay, so in the same way you can add anything in the screen 3 and it will be visible on the component tree. So if I want to say it very simply, the component tree is like, it will be showing you what are the components you have added and in which order you have added on each and every screen. Okay, now the third important part is you can have you can see this part on the right hand side. So this part is called as the property section. Now why I need property section? Because that is very important in Thunkable. That is how we can change the properties of the screen, of the components or any other thing you have added on the screen. Now let us take an example of the button. Okay, so first you have to click on the component for which you need to change the properties. Okay, so click on the button and then you can change the name inside that, maybe submit. Okay, so once you have written the submit over here, it will be visible on the button, and also in the top you can see you can also rename it over here. So in the top it is called as ID. Okay, so we are going to change the ID name. So why? Because it will be easy for you to write the blocks. Okay, let me teach you how, that one later when we are writing the coding part. Okay, now what are the other things we can do in the property section? So we can also change the font styles. Okay, whatever the font style you needed, you can change it, and also the text color, which is very important to make the application look good. Okay, and the next one, we can make it as bold, we can make it italic and all the other things, and also you can change the font size according to the size which you needed. So once you do that, so we can also change the background color of the particular component. Okay, so click on it and you can also change it. Now here one most important thing, interesting part actually, we can also give a background image for the components or for the screens. Okay, I'll teach you how to do that later after the video. You have to watch the video well. Now after doing that one, so I think you have understood what is the screen and what can we do on that, and what is add component section and add component tree, and then the property section. So these are all the things which we can see on the Thunkable screen. Now in today's class, what we are going to do is we are going to do a small project. We are going to use a navigation bar and also buttons and labels and images. Now before going into the project, let me teach you what is the meaning of a label. Okay, so a label is it is used for displaying the text on the screen. Okay, when you're running the code or when you're previewing the application, you cannot be able to change the text whatever you have on the label. So a label is a component which is only used for displaying the text on the screen. Okay, the second one is the button. The buttons are clickable. Okay, so once you have added the buttons, you can be able to click on it. Like for example, I have made a submit button. So when I have added a submit button, you can click on the submit, or you can make it as click here, or you can make it as next, previous, anything you like. Okay, shooting when you're making the games and everything. So a button is a clickable component. Okay, now let me just delete every component we have on the screen so that we could go through our project. So how to delete them? So there are two ways of deleting the components. First one, on the component tree, you just need to delete and click on delete. So when you touch on the particular component, you can see a delete option. Click on delete and then click on delete, and the next submit button, click on delete and then delete. So in the same way you can delete the entire screen at the same time. So one important thing, when you're deleting the screen, all the components and all the changes you have did in the screen will be deleted. Okay, please make sure that when you're deleting the screen, nothing is important over there. Okay, so click on delete and then delete. So I just need only screen 1, so I'm just gonna delete it and then delete. Now if for example unknowingly you have also deleted the last screen which you have, now I don't see any screen over here, right? So what will happen is when you are not seeing any screen over there, it will be showing you a plus icon in the top so that you can be able to add a screen. Okay, wait 1 minute, it's loading. So I have deleted the screen 3. Now once I delete it, It's not showing. Not a problem. I think you cannot delete, but for few users what will happen is when you have deleted the last screen also, you can see this plus button in the very top. Okay, so when you click on the plus icon, you will be having a new screen, okay, which will be named as screen 1. Okay, and yes, now I have deleted everything. Now what I have to do, I'm gonna rename the screen as welcome screen. Okay, now I have added the name of the screen as welcome screen. Now we are gonna make an application for animes. Okay, so now how to add, I'm gonna teach you how to add a background color and also how to add a background image for the entire screen. Okay, first we will go for the color, which will be in the same application. So over here you can see background color, and you can choose the color whatever you like, okay, based on the application or the game which you're creating. Let us take an example, something like light green. Okay, so if you wanted to add only the color, you can do it over here. But if you want to add a background image for the entire screen to make the screen look good, so how to do that? First you have to click on this background, and in the bottom, sometimes this particular thing will be shown in the bottom or sometimes it will be showing in the up. Okay, so you have to click on image, and now when you click on image, you have to click on no source file, and it will be giving you two options. The first one is upload files, the second one is type in URL. Normally we will be going for type in URL. That is nothing but you should go to a new tab and you have to select the image whichever you needed, and then right click on the image and you will be getting the copy image link or copy image address, and then you have to just come over here and paste it, the link. Okay, so when you paste that one, that image will be visible on the screen. So let us take an example. So I'll just go to this anime world, let me make it anime world, and I'll go to images, and we can pick any image whichever we needed. Like this is cool. Now right click on the image whichever you needed, and then you have to make it as copy link address or copy image address. Okay, copy image address I will do. Go back to Thunkable, click over here, and then click on type in URL. So once you click that, you will be seeing that https dot. Okay, I want you to remove that first before pasting the link. Why? Because when you're pasting the link will already be having HTTP. So if you're having two HTTPs, the link is not gonna work. Okay, first remove the HTTP which you have on over there and then paste it. Okay, see, once you have pasted it, it's gonna look like this. Okay, and the second thing is you can just click on upload files. Okay, so once you click on upload files, it will be taking to your file folder, and you can select the image whichever you have over there. Okay, but normally everyone will be preferring about doing it in the URL way. Okay, so yes, this is how you can add a background image for the entire screen and also the background color. Okay, now once you have added it, you can see here resize mode. So you can make it cover, contain, stretch, repeat, center, anything. So normally I will make it as cover so that it could be in the entire screen and it could look real good. Okay, now what is the next thing? I have to add a title, right? So I know the background image is looking so good, but even though we have to add a title, so for adding the title, I'm gonna use a label. Okay, now I'm gonna put a label over here in the very top, and I'm gonna rename it over here as title. Now in the ID I have renamed it as title, but in the label, in the text, I'm gonna name it as anime world. Okay, now if you can see, I have anime world, but I cannot even see the text over there. So what I'm gonna do, first I'm gonna change the font, make it good, and then make it bold, and then change the color to white. Maybe, yeah, that looks perfect. So white, and then I'm gonna change the font size. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm gonna keep it in the middle. Now even though that looks a little bit dull, so I'm gonna rename it over here in this, the entire designing part is very important in Thunkable. Okay, the way you're making the thing look is very important. You have to make it in a very unique way, and also you have to make it in such a beautiful way so that whenever you see that, you have to say like, yeah, it looks good. So now let me keep it in the middle, but if you want to change the color, you can change it. Okay, but I prefer white. Now I'm gonna scroll down. Oh, 1 minute. This Thunkable, sometimes it will get reloaded, okay, automatically, but no worries, nothing will be changed. Okay, yeah, now I'm gonna scroll down. Now what I'm gonna add? I'm gonna add a button. 1 minute. Okay, now I'm gonna add a button in the very bottom, maybe over here. Oh, not the button, sorry. See, I have added the wrong component, so I'm just gonna delete it over here. Okay, now I'm gonna add a button and keep it in the middle. So now I will be adding a button in over here, and I'm gonna rename it as next. Okay, now in the text also I'm gonna make it let's start. So start. Okay, so and then I'm gonna change the font style, and then 1 minute, just gonna remove the battery saver. Okay, now I'm gonna change the text color to red. Yes, that looks good. Now I'm gonna change the background color to green, maybe. Oh yeah, that looks good, maybe. Okay, now once you have added everything, so I have renamed the button as start. Now what is the next thing? So what we are going to do is, whenever we are clicking on the start button, it will go to the next page, okay, which is the first page of the series, and it's going to show you about a particular anime. Okay, now I'm going to click on this plus icon, and then I have created a new screen. Now I'm going to rename this screen as, yeah, we'll talk about One Piece. Okay, so this is a One Piece screen. Okay, now what are we gonna do in the next part? We have to add a background image, or we can add a background color. So background color is not necessary. Okay, you can just add a background image. That will be like, no, background color is fine actually. So why? Because we are gonna add a image, on screen image, and also background image. It's not gonna look so good. So I'm just gonna click on background color. Maybe it completely about sea and ocean and everything, so I'm gonna make it sky blue, something like this. Yeah, and after that one, I'm gonna add a title. Okay, so for the title, I'm gonna add a label, and I'm gonna make in the text, okay, change it as One Piece. So once you have added One Piece, I'm gonna click on the font, and yeah, maybe that looks good, and change to, yeah, let it be black, and then I'm gonna make it bold, and then I'm gonna change it to maybe 25. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it over here. Okay, wait, let me make it small and keep it in the middle like this. So yeah, once you have added that one, what is the next thing you can do is, you have to add the image, which is on screen image. Okay, so I'm gonna click on this, drag and drop, make it smaller, not too small. So I'm just gonna add it over here. So once I have added it, I need the One Piece image. It is similar to the background screen image, which you have added. So click on the image. Now go to anime world, and I'm gonna remove this and make it as One Piece and enter. So I just need some images, maybe, yeah, this looks good. Right click, I can see all the characters of One Piece. So I'm just gonna make it as, say, copy image address, and then go back to Thunkable. Now click on the component image. Now click on picture and make it type in URL, and then you have to remove the HTTP and then paste it. Okay, yes. Now once I have added this one, I'm gonna add a label so that I could give some content about One Piece. Okay, why? Because only adding the image, it's not gonna look so good. Okay, so now let me just add it. Now when you want to add a content or any paragraph about a particular thing, you cannot add it on screen. You have to add it on label. Okay, that is important. So I'm just gonna remove this and I'm gonna add it over here. Maybe One Piece follows the adventures of Monkey D. Luffy. Okay, and his pirate crew. Okay, so this is fine. Okay, you can add anything like this. You can add 1 lines, 2 lines, 3 lines and multiple lines, maybe 10 or 15 or 20. That will be completely depending upon how much size of paragraph you are adding. So once you are adding the paragraph, make sure that it is fitting on the screen. So if you want, you can change the font size and everything. Okay, and for the text also you can change the font color and background color and all the other things. Okay, so now once you have added this one, I'm gonna add a button in the bottom. And now, so once you have added the bottom button, I'm gonna make it as next. Okay, so I'm gonna make it as next and I'm gonna make it as next over here. When you're clicking on next button, it has to go to the next screen. So we are gonna make 3 screens so that it will be interactive. So now you can change the background color for the button if you want it. Scroll down, click on background color, maybe, yeah, this looks good, I think. Oh yeah, this is fine. So now once you have added that, I'm gonna click on new one. So I'm gonna rename this screen as one more, which is Demon Slayer. Okay, now once you have added for the Demon Slayer, the same process you can repeat it. Okay, so you just have to get the background color. So it's not necessary that you have to add the background color only. You can add background image also, not a problem. Okay, that will be completely your wish. Now once you have added the background color, you have to give a label so that it could be giving you the title. Okay, so I'm gonna rename it as Demon Slayer. Okay, so Demon Slayer, and then change the font size to whatever size, font style, and the color, maybe it could be black itself, and I'm gonna make it bigger and I'm gonna make it bold. Okay, so this is fine. If you want to add a background color for the label, you can add it. Okay, so click on background color and you can add the color whichever you like. Okay, so I'm just not adding it because I don't need it. Okay, so if you don't need it, you can just make it transparent. I don't need the background color, so let it be like this. Okay, now once you have added the title, the same thing. So I'm just gonna add an image over here and make it a bit tiny. Keep it over here, and then I'm just gonna go over here and I'm gonna make it for Demon Slayer. And it will be going to the images, the same process. Okay, so right click, copy image address, go back to Thunkable, click on this, and then you have to go to the top, picture, click over here. You can upload the files. Okay, don't forget that. If you have the files, you have saved it, so you can upload it. So click on type URL and then remove the HTTP and then paste it. And one more thing I wanted to say, if you don't know how to download the images from the Google, for the next anime which I'm adding, I'm gonna download the image and I'm gonna upload it. Okay, now once you have added this one, the next thing is what you have to do. You have to add a label in the bottom, and you can write the text over here, for example, oh, I need to make it small. Tanjiro and Nezuko. Okay, who kills people? And sometimes you cannot see the text, you have to just drag it down. Okay, so and then you can see the text. If you want to change the background color for the text, please you can do it, and the font style and everything you can change it. Now once I have added that one, I'm gonna add a button and I'm gonna rename it as. So here one more thing, in the screen number 2 for the one piece, we have already renamed the button as next in the title, which is like ID. But here you cannot give the same name for the ID, so you just have to make it as next one. Okay, so that we will be having an idea. Next is for the one piece, next one is for the Demon Slayer. Oh, it's Demon Slayer, so let me just change it 1 minute. So it's gonna be Demon Slayer, not Demon Slayer. So yeah, now I'm gonna click on this button and I'm gonna rename it over here as next. So in the text you can rename the same thing, but in the ID you cannot. Okay, so next. Now you can change the font size and font color. Maybe I can make it complete red, and the background color I can make it to, if it is red also, I can make it this color. Yeah, that looks perfect. Now I'm gonna add it for the next one. Now the next one is for maybe we'll take an example of another anime, which is Hunter x Hunter. Hunter, I'm just gonna give it as Hunter. Oh, I'm just gonna remove this. Hunter. Okay, so the ID which you're giving is completely your wish. The context what you're taking is completely your wish. It's not like you have to do it only for the animes and everything. You can do it for movies, you can do it for your favorite page, and you can do it for your favorite hero and favorite sports player, favorite programming language, anything you like. Okay, now Hunter, and then do the same thing. We will repeat it, but here we are gonna download the image and we are gonna put it in the image. Okay, so click, and for Hunter x Hunter, let me make it green. Okay, that looks perfect. Now once you have added the green in color, I'm gonna add the label. So I'm gonna rename the label as Hunter x Hunter. So not in the title or in the text. Hunter x Hunter. This is one of the name of the anime, okay? Don't mind. So you can change the font size, font style, and all the other things, whichever you like. So make it big, bold, and so that it could look good. Okay, so Hunter x Hunter, I'm gonna keep it over here. Now the next thing you have to add is image. So as I told you, I'm not going to take the URL, but I'm gonna download the image and I'm gonna upload it so that you will get an idea how to download it. So go to a new tab and Hunter x Hunter. Now, so you can pick the thing which you like. Maybe this one is good. Right click. So how to download it? Click on save image as. Click on save image as. And then you have to choose the where you have to save it. So once you got it, you have to rename it Hunter, I'm gonna give, and then click on save. So once you do that, it is gonna be downloaded. Now go back to Thunkable. Now once it is downloaded, you have to click on the image. Now click on picture, upload files, and you have to go to that particular address where you have downloaded the image. So let me go to desktop and I will search it, Hunter JPG, and then click and then open. So once you have opened it, it will be over here. Okay, so asset it added. Only when you get asset added, that picture is you can use it. Okay, if it is not added, then you cannot use it. Okay, so once you have added the image, I'm gonna get a label and I'm gonna rename it over here. I'm gonna give something about yeah. Okay, so now if you can see, I have added such a big sentence, but it is not showing you completely. So in that time you have to just drag it and as much as you need it, and you can keep it. Now, so this is the last one. So after this one I'm not going to create any other pages, so no need to add the next button over here. So here what you can add is, you can add a button and you can rename it as back. Okay, and why need to back? When you click on back, you can go to the main screen. Okay, so you can rename it as back. Okay, so you can change the colors and everything. So let me just change the background color for this one. Click on the background color, go to the green. I'm choosing the colors which will be looking good on the screen. So you can choose the color combinations which you like. Okay, so this is about the designing part. So once you can see over here, you can create as many screens as you like. So once you are creating the screens, you can add the components using add component section, and this component tree is used for showing you what are all the components you have added in what particular screens. Okay, and this is the property section where you can change the properties of each and every component which you have added, and it's also used for changing the properties of the screens which you have added. Okay, so this is the designing part. Now the most important thing is we have to write the code for this one. So I will just go to blocks. Okay, now when I go to blocks over here, it will be having nothing. Okay, so over here you can see in this also it will be separated as it is on the screens. Okay, welcome screen, we can write separate code. For one piece screen, okay, the next screen you can write the separate code. For demons layer screen, for as many screens as you have added, you can create you can write different codes for different screens. Okay, it is not necessary for all the screens you have to write it in welcome screen. No, not like that. If you want to write it for one piece separately the code, you can write it for that. Okay, so for that particular screen, whatever the changes or whatever the coding part you need to write, you have to go to that screen and you have to write it. Okay, now I'll go to welcome screen first. Now over here, what can we write the code? So we have added a component called as button, and we have renamed it as next. Okay, here you can see, so I have renamed it in the IDs, right? Why I renamed this? So that it will be easy for me to identify for which component I have to take and I have to write the code. Okay, so if you rename in the ID, it will be affected on the UI components. Okay, now so I'm gonna click on next. So once you click on next, it's gonna show you the code. Okay, now what should happen? Whenever we are clicking on next, it has to go to the one piece screen. So I'm gonna get, when next is clicked, I'll go to control and I'm gonna get directly I'm not gonna navigate to the screen one, but I'm gonna wait for 1 second to make it look good, and then go to control and then navigate to welcome screen. Okay, let's see whether it is working or not. I'll go to the designing part. Now how to check whether it is working or not? You have to click on web preview. Okay, so click on web preview and you can see start. When I click on start, it will wait for 1 second. Now what is happening? Oh, wait, I made a mistake. Sorry. So go back to blocks. I have to change over here. Okay, not the welcome screen, but I have to go to one piece screen. Navigate to one piece, not for the welcome screen itself. So we'll do it one more time. So web preview again. So we have to click on it is how it looks like. Can click on start. It will wait for 1 second and it will go to one piece screen. Okay, the same thing we can do it for the one piece screen. Okay, so I'm gonna click on edit again, go back to blocks. Now when you're doing it for the one piece in the next, okay, you have to go to the one piece screen and you have to do it. See, the most important thing in the coding part is, when you go to welcome screen, the only components you have added in the designing part in the welcome screen will be visible over here. when you go to one piece, the same thing. The components which you have added in the designing part will be visible. Okay, so I'll go to, okay, one more thing. Here you can see here label 2, image 1, label 1. Why? Because I did not rename it in the ID. So it is label 2 and label 1. So I cannot really guess like which is like, the text which I have added in the bottom, which is the title I have added. Okay, so that's why it is very important, like, it will be very helpful if you rename it in the ID. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to next, and then when next is clicked, same thing, go to control, wait for 1 second, then go to control, navigate to Demons layer. Okay, the same thing, I'll go to Demons layer screen, go to next, and then when next is clicked, I'll go to control, wait for 1 second, go to control again, navigate to hunter. Okay, now the last one, go to hunter, and you can make it like, back. Here we don't have next, right? So click on back, and then wait for 1 second, wait for 1 second, and then go to control again, so navigate to, but here we have to go to welcome screen itself. Okay, now I'll go to the designing part. I'm gonna click on, go to the welcome screen, and then web preview. So now once I do that, it's gonna be like, click on next, it will go to one piece screen, and click on next, it will go to Demons layer, and click on next, it will go to Hunter x Hunter, and when you click on back, it will go to Anime World. Okay, so I think you have understood until this one. So I would like to make one simple change in this. Rather than adding a single next button, I'm gonna add like, next and back button. Okay, let's see how am I gonna do that. So I'm gonna make it small. I'm gonna make a button over here. I'm gonna make it small again. Click over here and drag it and drop it. Yes. Now I'm gonna rename it as back. So I'm gonna rename it in the button as back. So I'm gonna change the background color. Okay. Now do the same thing for Demons layer. So why am I adding back is nothing but, so if you are in Demons layer screen and if you want to go to one piece screen again, I cannot go to 100x Hunter and then go back and then come to one piece, right? So if you am adding like, back button and the next button, so when you click on back, it will go to the previous screen. When you click on next, it will go to the next screen. So we can do like that. So like, when you're doing an application or when you're doing game, it's all about your creativity, what you're gonna add. Okay, so you can add whatever you needed and make sure that whatever you're adding is good and also it is working properly. Okay, so I'm gonna rename it as back 1. I cannot rename the same thing, so I'm gonna rename in the button as back. Now I'm gonna change the background color to red. Maybe we'll go to red, and yeah, this color will be fine. Okay, now do the same thing here in the Hunter x Hunter. We already have a back button, right? So I'm just gonna rename this button as welcome screen button. Okay, make it as welcome screen button 1, because I have already given the name of the screen, no? So now in the back, I'm gonna rename it as welcome screen, and I'm gonna make the one more button. So make it as over here, and I'm gonna rename this button as back. Now rename it over here as back 2. Okay, now I'm gonna change the color. Okay, now that looks a bit very bad. Okay, now this is okay. Now I need to change the coding part. Now I'll go to blocks, So I'll go to one piece. Now in the one piece you can see we have back and the next. So we have already written code for the next. So I'll go to back and wait. So when back is clicked, wait for 1 second and then go to control, and then whenever we are clicking on the back, I need to go to the welcome screen itself, not for the daemons layer. So the same thing, I'll go to daemons layer, I'll click back one and wait. Okay, when back one is clicked, go to control, wait for 1 second, go to control, navigate to one piece. Okay, now in the hunter x hunter, so if you can see there, I have renamed the button as welcome screen. It is automatically updated, but if it is not updated, you need to delete the block and you have to get it one more time and do it. So how to delete it? Here you can see a bin, right? So you just have to click and drag and go to the bin. Okay, and you have to delete it. Okay, but I'm not deleting it right now. So now you have to get to back. Oh, to click on this, click on back to, and you have to get when back is clicked, and then you have to click on core to get the controls and everything. So wait for 1 second, click and drag and drop, and then go to control again and navigate to daemons layer. Okay, now let's see whether it is working properly or not. So I'll go to welcome screen and I'm gonna make it we have two options, a web preview and also live test on device. So if you click on live test on device, oh, we have to log in, we don't need that. Okay, just click on web preview. You can share this particular application whichever you made to your mobile phone, and you can use it in a mobile phone also, not a problem. So when I click on start, it's gonna go to one piece. So we have back and the next. So first we'll click on back. Yeah, it goes. Now we'll make it for next. And in the one daemons layer also we have back and next. We can go to one piece or we can go to the next scene. So click on next, it will go over here. And click on welcome screen, it will go to the welcome screen again. So like this, if you want to add more than 3 enemies or more than 3 pages, you can add even 100 pages also. It is not a problem. Okay, but sometimes the device will get lagged. Okay, why? Because if you're adding more and more screens, it will get lagged. Okay, keep it to minimum 10 to 20 pages will be fine. Okay, so this is about the basic project which we are doing in Thunkable in today's video. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.